If you're planning a trip to Florence and Tuscany, you've come to the right place. I'm going to give you detailed information on visiting the Cradle of Renaissance with itinerary suggestions, 3D flyover maps, and valuable tips from my years of travel experience. Andiamo! Let's get started with our trip to Florence and Tuscany. Florence is the birthplace of the Renaissance and is home to some of the most famous works of art from this period. The city is also home to beautiful churches, a palace, fantastic food like Florentine steak, Tuscan wines like Chianti, excellent shopping, especially for leather goods, and if you're into it, it's got a great nightlife. I highly recommend staying in central Florence to maximize your time in the city. Florence is a very walkable city. From the train station, it's only about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes over to the Duomo. And from the Duomo, you can walk down to the Piazza della Signorina. It's only maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And of course, you'll take longer because you'll be shopping and enjoying all the sights. Right next to the Piazza della Signorina, we're flying over the Uffizi Museum, a famous museum in the world. And 5 to 10 minutes away is the Ponte Vecchio, the famous covered bridge in Florence. So everything is very, very close. The route that I just went over is a great way to spend your first full day in Florence. Every visit to Florence has to include the Duomo, the Florence Cathedral, which really you can't avoid because it's massive. The Duomo was built over 150 years from 1296 to 1436, and it's just incredible to see all the beautiful marble covering it and the intricate designs. And to fully appreciate the Duomo, I highly recommend getting a local guide or getting a good guidebook, which I can recommend in the PDF. There's so many details that you just won't know about. For example, on the baptistry doors that bring it alive. There's a lot of fascinating history just within the Duomo itself and how it was built. And I highly recommend climbing the Duomo if you have it in you for fantastic views of Florence. You can also climb the bell tower. Next is Piazza della Signorina. This is the iconic square that encompasses Florence's rich artistic heritage. Here you'll notice Michelangelo's David, or at least the replica of David that's in this square. And this replica gives you a chance to admire the sculpture if you don't have time to visit the original David at the Accademia Gallery. If all this walking and sightseeing has got you hungry, I recommend a grab-and-go sandwich shop right off the piazza. It's fantastico. It's a small family-run business that has been serving up delicious sandwiches for over 50 years. And the sandwiches are made with fresh, local ingredients and are always perfectly cooked. Now, the shop is always busy because it's so good. And it might even make you want to make out with a stranger like these two. Continuing your journey, you'll pass by the renowned Uffizi Gallery, a world-famous museum known for its vast collection of masterpieces. You'll need a lot of time to visit this museum and tickets ahead of time. So for now, pass through on your way to the Arno River, to the famous Ponte Vecchio. You can take some time to walk the bridge covered with jewelry shops lining both sides. If you're ready to call it a day, you can head back to the hotel or find a place to relax and enjoy the evening. If you have time and energy, you could continue your walk about 15 minutes to the Pitti Palace and the Boboli Gardens. The Pitti Palace is a beautiful palace that houses several museums, including the Palatine Museum and the Gallery of Modern Art. The Boboli Gardens is a peaceful park designed in the 16th century and is a sprawling 111 acres or 45 hectares. Book tickets in advance for the Pitti Palace and the Boboli Gardens. Or from the Ponte Vecchio, if you're looking for breathtaking views of Florence, you can take a taxi or you can walk uphill for about 20 minutes to Piazza Michelangelo. This vantage point offers an unforgettable panorama of Florence and its surrounding beauty. Perhaps pick up some Chianti or gelato to enjoy the view at sunset. For your second full day in Florence, you have a lot of options depending on your personal taste. Option A would be to visit the Tuscan hillside countryside, visiting the medieval towns of Siena and San Gimignano. You could take a bus to each of these, and this is a full day experience. If this is too much for one day, consider visiting either San Gimignano or Siena, but not both. I prefer San Gimignano just slightly more, but you really can't go wrong with either one. They're both excellent. Or consider visiting a Tuscan winery, or take a Vespa tour into Tuscany. Again, in the PDF, I'll explain your options, how to take a bus to each of these towns, and links to these other tours. Siena is a beautiful town in Tuscany. It's known for its medieval architecture, including the Piazza del Campo, a shell-shaped main square. Here you might climb the tower for stunning views of the city and surrounding landscape. You can explore the narrow streets and admire the well-preserved medieval buildings and soak in the city's vibrant atmosphere. San Gimignano is a smaller, walled medieval town with a different feel than Siena. It's famous for its medieval architecture, unique in preserving about a dozen of the tower houses. You can explore the well-preserved historic center, walk along the ancient walls, and enjoy breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding vineyards and countryside. And you can enjoy some of the best food and gelato in Tuscany. Your other option is to stay in Florence and explore the city further, perhaps visiting some of the famous museums or taking a cooking class. Of course, if you have 3 full days in Florence, then you can just do more of these things and you don't have to choose between them. You can do everything. I hope this video has been helpful to plan your trip. Please remember to check out my ebook in the description below for insights on this and other destinations across Italy. I'll be adding new countries and new guides and new content to the channel, so I highly encourage you to subscribe if you'd like to be notified when I do. And if you found this video to be helpful, I would really appreciate a thumbs up below. All right, buon viaggio and ciao for now.